Welcome to the Goodwood Show.
Welcome everyone to another episode of the Goodwood Show. And today we have Alex from Cherry.fun. Alex, welcome.
Hi, Izar. Thank you so
You're
much for
good.
having me here.
Before everything, please tell me where the name came from, because I was very curious, and because knowing that is a messaging app, why Cherry?
I think this is a very funny story because the story of the name goes back to last year when we were trying to figure out what my co-founder and I were going to build next. And we didn't have an idea what we wanted to build, but we just wanted to do something that was to do with crypto, with Solana. And we wanted to pick a name that, even if we pivot, which happens a lot with startups, so even if we pivot, that would allow us to still continue and doing the business and getting the customers, etc. So we wanted to have something that has a positive connotation. And I think at the time, cookie.fun was popular. I kind of like this idea of, you have something edible, something tasty, and you just add .fun there. And we played with a few different names, and Cherry came up a few times, and I think the price for the domain name was reasonable, so we just kind of went with it. And it actually helped us, what I was talking about, with the pivot. So we initially, when we launched, we had an analytics platform. It had nothing to do with messaging. It was a pure wallet analytics platform. So it actually helped us to have a name that was we were able to kind of change the direction of the company and still kind of remain in the business with the same brand, with the same community of people who believe in us.
Yeah, if you go with soul messaging and then you have to change to something else, you're like soul messaging and they are an analytics, or the other way around. Well, it doesn't make any sense, right? Like Cherry, I remember the sushi swap, right? That was a trend where everyone was giving names of foods and stuff.
I think it still works. I think
it works.
It works, yeah.
I was actually listening to a podcast with CoinGecko's co-founder or founder, and they were like, "Why CoinGecko?" And they were like, "I don't know. We were trying to get animals, and then Gecko was available, like you said with your Gecko was available. Okay, we put coin in front, and that's it. Yeah, it's actually."
I think I still have the list of names. I think we had something like peach.fun or something. So we could have been a completely different beast or completely different fruit.
Yeah, it could be. You mentioned that with your co-founder, you were trying to find the next thing to build. So can you say that you are like a serial builder? What other projects have you done?
Yeah, we have 3 co-founders, but one of them and I, we go back 10 years. So we started our internship in Silicon Valley 2015, which was lots of fun. When you're 20 years old and you have spare money, you're away from your family, no parents oversight and stuff like that. And you also work in a cool company, right? So that was a really, really fun time to be. And so we met. We kind of obviously. Being in Silicon Valley, you always talk about startups, and at some point we decided to launch something together. So a few years ago, we started doing a AI copilot for the stock market. We spent about a year building the app, growing it. So we had a pretty successful launch on the iOS. We had a massive user base as well, and we sold it to a team building on Solana. We knew about crypto, we knew about Solana. It's just that we never were involved into Solana prior to that. So we sold it to these guys. We joined the team just to kind of help continue building this app. We kind of changed it from the stock market AI to crypto market AI, and it was a fun time because 2024 was the time when this whole AI meta was super, super popular. All of the AI tokens went up. We had one of those tokens that went up completely insane market cap. And but as always, with some of these projects, like when it goes up, what goes up, everything goes down. So
yeah.
So we learned our lesson, and we wanted to build something that actually lasts a long time, not just like a single hype cycle or something. So when we left the project, we started thinking about different things. We started doing like we started analyzing the analytics market. We then looked into the messaging and social. Social is very difficult, as you see. It's a very tough market to be in, but it's a very kind of fun and rewarding experience to build a social app, especially when you see like how you're changing this whole landscape. So that's just a kind of brief story about my co-founder and I. But yeah, we've built a few startups, sold one of them. So it's just the very kind of fun experience.
That's good then. But then why did you decide to stay in crypto? You could have done other Web2 startups and projects, and maybe work for a company and.
Well, crypto is. It's difficult to say. I think we kind of liked that a lot of the experience we have it was missing in crypto for some reason, right? So I'm not saying like people are like have experience. It's just that I think we have this edge of like being the Web2 founders, and also working in a large enterprise company, like bringing this all engineering experience to crypto, which I think it still helps us. So we're not just like vibe coding, like throw a prompt at something and then like hope for the best. When we're building Cherry, we use Opus and we use Claude, etc. But when we kind of approach the architecture, like a lot of the technical aspects, like we know exactly what we want to see, and we know how to secure the app so that it's not getting abused, it's not getting hacked. And I think the fact that we haven't had any attacks so far is obviously kind of a bit of a testament to this. So we saw there was like the gap with the social. We saw that we also kind of bring this experience to the space, so it kind of was a fit. But I think from our experience, with my co-founders, we are very flexible. I don't know, let's say Cherry doesn't work out or something happens, we obviously can always pivot to something. But right now we're kind of really dedicated to making Cherry a success, and we want to make sure that we kind of bring value to this space. We bring value to Solana, and hopefully to even like broader like crypto ecosystem, because I think this is really growing a bit differently from AI space. I think AI is like kind of being like a very loud right now, like everybody talks about it, but crypto is growing invisibly, like not in the price action, but more in the adoption among institutions, and more like invisible infrastructure that everybody uses, but just they don't know it yet. So
yeah, it's a good time to build right now that is quiet. You don't have the noise, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, exactly. There's less, I mean, there's still hype, there's still some of it, but definitely not as like you don't have to pivot every week just to catch the trend.
Yeah. Do you see that there's less investment as well, like when you need funds, or is basically the same? Just the retail is not here.
In terms of crypto, or like what you like?
No,
what do you mean?
No, in crypto, like imagine you need another seed round now to develop some more features for your app. Do you see that like now on the bear market, there's not much opportunity?
I would say, yeah, I would say there is a few things. I mean, the trend overall is it has been changing a lot. So let's say 3-4 years ago, you could raise money just by saying, like, oh, I'm a founder, I have
just a website.
Yeah. I have like 1.5 users, using my platform, and and you could raise $1 million. I mean, I'm obviously exaggerating, but that's kind of the point. It's it was a lot easier, like in 2021, for example. Now it's harder, regardless whether you're building in crypto or you're building, like even an AI space, like because there is so much competition. Like when we were building our first AI startup, that financial platform for the AI for the stock market, everybody was asking like, oh, how are you different from ChatGPT? And it was difficult back then, but now, like, when you can just vibe code whatever you want, it's even more difficult to fundraise and do stuff. I think in crypto, a lot of the investors are looking into alternative they're probably looking for other kind of theses, outside of crypto. So we definitely see that. It's not impossible to fundraise, but you obviously see a lot less of teams or about teams successfully raising 7 figures or 8 figures. So it's definitely happening less, but it's still happening. So people still raising. What I think is different from the bull market is the valuations. If you could raise like previously, you could raise like massive valuations for like you raise the same amount, but like the percentage you give to the investor is a lot less. Nowadays, you're competing with so many other startups, hungry projects that need the money to survive and to keep building. Now you have to give away a bit more to attract this investor. So it's a definitely a bit more aggressive environment right now for startups looking for investment, and we definitely see this because we also are raising right now.
Okay, that's good. So let's jump into the Cherry. So why a messaging app and not like another Perps Dex or something else that is the trend?
So I mean, we don't know. Maybe we'll have a Dex, and maybe we'll have something special. There's a lot of stuff coming, but we wanted to build something. Wanted to build the social layer initially because we saw this problem ourselves, right? So we saw that you could obviously, when you meet someone at a conference or at an event, you exchange with a Telegram, and that's how you stay in touch. But when you meet someone on chain, it's when I say meet, I mean for example,
exactly.
You're trading. You're part of the same community or something. Especially if you're trading, or if you I'm buying the supply of a particular token or something. It's impossible to kind of verifiably reach the specific wallet owner. So that was our original hypothesis. Like, can we build something that allows us to reach the specific wallet owner? Because at the time, when we're like involved in the token, that was like really, really important for us to be able to speak with the whales and kind of to at least communicate with them. Like, this is what's happening with it, like with the project. This is what's on our roadmap, etc. So that's how it started. And then we started looking into. I think at the time we started doing research. Solana Mobile was looking to launch Seeker, the crypto native phone, and that's how we kind of started building this narrative of a Solana messenger, messenger for Solana Mobile, messenger for Solana in general. And it was a good time to launch because we got our, I would say, first 10K users just from Seeker. And definitely, that definitely was the right bet for us to launch there. We made a ton of mistakes with how we approached the launch. What I like to say is our original messaging infrastructure was on chain. So when you send a message, it actually goes on chain as a transaction, and it's definitely not the right approach to do it. So we changed this around. We made the user experience a lot easier to play around with, and we started seeing a lot of adoption in the groups and community space. So it was less about the
individual.
It was like original thesis was, okay, I want to DM Vitor, directly on chain for one or another reason. And we realized, well, that's great. That will probably come in the future as when we have the adoption across the ecosystem. But the real value came from being able to, kind of join these communities, like token gated communities or more public communities, but being able to see oh, I'm interacting with the whale, or I'm speaking with somebody who has like 1,000 .sol domains or something. So you could see these people, you could like communicate with them, and that was a whole other level of experience that you couldn't get on Telegram. So we saw a lot of value on in kind of groups and communities, and we still we're doubling down on that. Like we're working with Soulflare. There's going to be a few announcements coming very soon. There's, I think what we hear from the team is it's exactly the same thing. They're betting on communities. They're not betting like on the individual like wallet DMs. It's more of a like, can we bring these kind of wallet enriched communities and kind of get them together and see how they hang out and kind of build the environment that kind of benefits the ecosystem. So it's, as I say, like you can see like this whole journey, right? So we have to pivot a lot as a startup. Yeah, I mean, it's fantastic. It's difficult, obviously, but it's fantastic that we can
learning curve
to find out like this is what we think, but this is actually what the market needs and wants, right? So we were able to kind of shift from one to the other and kind of build something that's a bit more in between, and that kind of preserves our vision, but also manages to deliver what the market needs.
We have always to adapt, right? Because you think that you're building something and then they use it in a completely different way, and you're like, oh, okay, I never thought about this. So maybe that's the way that you should go. There's also another point that is sometimes people try to follow too much the temporary hype and lose a bit of the sight of their vision. Let's say they are building A, and then B is kind of the trend, and then they don't stop A, and then actually A could have made that company the biggest company in the world, and they stop focus. I don't know. I'm just giving. I mean, for sure that is like this.
No, it's true. It's true. I think there's a bit of a balance. Like if you just follow your vision, sometimes the market is not there. It may not be there in 5 years, 10 years, right? So you have to see what's happening, like what is happening right now, and try to connect your vision to, exactly like what people need now. Sometimes it may not be like your end product. It may be just the way for you to launch like a go to market, essentially, like just like as a stepping stone to get to the point you want the world to be. But I think you have to like you have to build this kind of roadmap. Sometimes it's a bit of a zigzag sort of motion, but it is it's necessary to try to kind of use these opportunities as building blocks.
I wanted to ask you, so you said that you sold your first company to some company in Solana. Did you try to build something else on other chains? Did you went to other chains? It was straight away you said Solana is my home and I'm gonna just build this on Solana? Because as you know, like you are limiting yourself a little bit, right? It's okay, Solana is one of the biggest ones, but why not the messaging app on Ethereum and on BNB and on, if you
I think I mean this is a fair question. I wouldn't say we want to restrict ourselves with like specific chain, like we never leave in it. May happen, but I wouldn't say like we want to limit ourselves. I think initially what we wanted to have is we wanted to have a chain that has the community of people who are building, who are like you actually see a lot of adoption. And we saw massive adoption throughout 2024, throughout 2025, and 2025 was the year when we actually started actually joining the events. So last year was the year when we started joining the like real world events with Solana. Not just following people on Twitter, not just exchanging comments, but you actually met people. We were able to meet so many smart folks like here in London and in Abu Dhabi and elsewhere. So it was just the community was there. So we kind of wanted to kind of get deeper into it, and try to meet and build it with as many people as possible. Ethereum community, that's kind of one of the biggest ones, right? But it wasn't as active here in London. From what we saw, like it wasn't as vibrant, and I think just the in-person communication helps a lot when you're building a crypto. Like there's a lot of stuff that people just hype up on Twitter, but behind closed doors, or like just in a a more like informal setting, people tell you what's actually happening and what is the actual meta, or what are the actual facts about the chain or project. So it was just a good starting point, and I think that's kind of the first reason. The other reason is Ethereum already had something going. It had well, not Ethereum necessarily, but Base itself, which is built on
EVM kind of,
yeah. So Base app and XMTP. I wouldn't necessarily say they are competitors, but they're definitely big players with very, very deep pockets. That it's a lot more difficult to compete with. So we wanted to have the space where we could have a lot less competition, but not like a big enough market to actually make a difference, and not just build like in a little sandbox for like 2 or 3 people. Solana has a lot of consumers. Solana has a lot of like meme traders and in builders. So it's a lot bigger space, but it's not saturated enough with consumer and social apps. Like some of these social apps we saw were pretty much like I think like a lot of the failures or issues that we saw with them were to do with the token. So a lot of them launched the token, and that kind of spiraled the product out of control, because when you start managing the token, you essentially kind of move like at least 50% of your attention to the token. So a lot of these products, unfortunately, I think experienced exactly that. So we wanted to take a bit different approach, like from we set ourselves on a mission to try not to launch the token for as long as possible. We still haven't launched it. We don't want to launch it unless there's like the right time, and we already have such a solid base that the token would actually do a lot better, like for the project, for the community, rather than
destroy it.
Yeah,
normally it is what's happened, right? It's people release a token and then completely kills the project because it.
Yeah, and it's a very easy to do. Like even if you put a lot of effort, it's very easy to do, especially in the market like this. Everybody's going to just dump. There's not enough volume. There's not enough interest. It's just going to be a very, very bad case, and unfortunately it's going to be probably detrimental for us as the project. So that's kind of to answer your question about why we launched on Solana. I wouldn't say we would never do anything for other chains, but I think in startups the focus really helps. So being able to just focus on this community, figure out the pain points, figure out who we can partner with, rather than try to build for all of the other chains. And to add to this, we saw like a lot of adoption throughout 2024 when we joined. Like when we actually were in Solana day in, day out, we saw a lot of like retail adoption. Like it was a lot of I think Pump Fund were like launched just a few months prior to like our kind of acquisition. So it was fun to see this whole space grow, and I think that gave us a lot of reassurance that it's that was the right bet. It was like people were talking about Solana a lot more than Ethereum. So I still think it's the right space to be in. Yeah,
that's good. Yeah, I agree. And you are part of the super team, right? How did the super team help with your Solana journey, and specifically, of course, with your project?
So I think one part of it is the in-person events, what I was talking about, just the hackathons, all kinds of dinners, all kinds of pitch nights and demo nights, etc. And even like the Friday co-working, right? So that was also very important. We recently actually got the grant to get us moving with some of the developments. on Cherry. So
That's
it's
good. That's good.
really,
Congratulations.
thank you. So that's been really helpful.
And
So
came through more or less Super Team, or kind of they helped in any way.
no, this is the this is one of those Solana Foundation UK grants.
Okay.
So it's came from Super Team UK, but it's funded by Solana Foundation. Really, really excited about this. We haven't announced this yet. There's just so many announcements. We just haven't had a chance to put it on Twitter yet. But yeah, it's it's really kind of a very kind of valuable thing for us. But I think like the in person, it's there's so much on Twitter. There's so much in like online that having these events in person, like meeting people and networking, like even like you and I, we met at a few Monkey events, right? Just being able not to see just your name on Telegram, but actually meeting you and having a conversation. I think that adds a lot, like adds another layer of trust that is very difficult to get when you're just working online. I have met people where I think we're just so like online native. I've been my kind of origin story is like I started like working when I was 13 years old. I did like freelance gigs, etc. So I've been working online since I was a teenager. But I think not everyone is used to this, and I think most people are so busy. There's so many like distractions that it's really difficult to build this relationship over the camera or over like the chat. So meeting people in person that really helps to learn to get to know them more, to understand like where the industry is moving, to kind of pick up on these cues. So Super Team has been super helpful with just kind of creating this environment in London. And well, I'm biased about London, right? But it's been really valuable to just be able to go out every week, meet people, have this opportunity to speak, to meet with them, and present and partner with them. So yeah, it's definitely been part of our success.
Yeah, I heard that as well. Like people saying that it's hard to have. Okay, Ethereum is much bigger, but they don't have this type of support and community so focused on with the builders and helping with hackathons, filling the paperwork, applying to these things. So Solana is much more close, let's say, to the builders. You mentioned as well, like in the beginning, saying that you had a bit of pivot a little bit and made some not say mistakes, but things that were not exactly like you imagined. Can you share some of those challenges and things that you thought, oh, I go this direction, and then suddenly, okay, this is not, I shouldn't do this way? Because it's good sometimes for other people that are building and they eat those walls and they're like, they think, oh, it's only me now, and sometimes it's everyone, right? Everyone has these issues.
Yeah, I mean, for us, definitely one of the issues was with like we were a bit idealistic, I would say, initially, like thinking that, oh, we have to build everything on chain. It has to be like super decentralized, but we realized that it's not really necessary. Like having a social experience that's only partial. I think, what is it? I think XMTP or sorry, not XMTP, Farcaster. I think they call this sufficiently decentralized experience or something like that. So
good enough.
It is
good enough. It's good enough.
Let me look at sufficiently decentralized, or maybe So, but it's sufficient decentralization. That's what they call it.
Okay.
But the goal is like you don't really need to like decentralize every single.
No one cares, right? At some point, like if you go for the masses, they're not gonna be this transaction was on chain, right? Is the best.
You decentralize it enough for like to get the traction, and I think early on for us and like getting the traction was like getting users using the app was most important. And having the like it was funny because like to register on the app you had to sign like 2 or 3 transactions And then like every single message you sent also was a transaction. So like looking back at this, like how insane were we to even build it this way? But we thought that there was this narrative about decentralized messenger. And while there was some interest in this, like some people were like absolutely like insanely happy about this, but we realized, it's blocking a lot of users from even like trying Cherry.
There's an entry barrier straight away there, right?
Yeah, so we removed this whole thing back, I think like during Christmas. Like Christmas was a very like insane time. Like it was like the team was working, every single day. So as soon as we kind of shut this down, the kind of the on-chain messaging part, we moved this stuff to kind of off-chain. We were able to grow massively. Like every month, our active users kept doubling. I think we went from like 300 or 500 users in December, or like weekly users, I think, to like I think 500 daily users in January, and then 1,000 in in February, etc., etc. So it's been like doubling every single month, which is really cool, because now you could see that people that was really stopping the users from kind of being part of the community, making it their daily routine. It was a nice gimmick, but it was really stopping the users. So I think the mistake we made was obviously like just not thinking about this ahead of time, but at least we managed to kind of patch it and like rearrange our whole architecture for this. So that was the biggest mistake. I think looking back, maybe 3 months from now, I will probably be thinking about some of the stuff we're doing right now, or some of the stuff we have been doing like earlier this year as like a lot of mistakes. But essentially what we're trying to do right now is we measure so many things. That's what we haven't been doing, like we haven't done before. But now we kind of really we don't look just at the numbers, how many users we have, like in general, like a single metric. We're starting to dig into, okay, who these users are, like which countries, like how many actually active users do we have? Because you can have people who just open the app and then close it, but then how many people do you have who open the app, send a message, play a game, do something that's more like complex than just open and close, right? So we're kind of trying to build these complex chains. And I think I spoke with Chris from Dialect. So he's he's been really kind of helpful voice for us in terms of how we can kind of take Cherry forward.
You just got the news that they integrated with Solana and Twitter X or whatever.
He told me something was coming, something big was coming. So that's a really that's a really cool news. So but he kind of told me the same thing. Like we're gonna try to you need to try to build these complex chains of interactions. Like it's maybe like how many users send a message, then maybe they send a GIF, or maybe they send a DM, and then they also maybe open a few apps, and you need to kind of build this chain as long as possible, like that becomes as long as possible, because that's how you know that you've provided user enough value, right? So that they stay in your app, they try different things, they don't just open click a button and leave, right? So this is like something we are focused on right now, like actually deep understanding of the users, and that's not something we were able to do before, because it was just so many crazy things that we had to do to put the infrastructure in place. So yeah,
I wanted to ask a bit more in depth, like the actual wallet process, because for example, imagine I have 5 wallets, right? But I'm still this one person, right? If I get a message on one wallet that I have, like my Ledger wallet, that I will never connect with Cherry or any other app, right? That message will never get to me, right? How can I and then I think on the other way around, right? If I want to contact someone, I see a wallet, right? And there's like, okay, this guy has 3 billion Solana, and I want to contact him. Who says that wallet is not from a group of wallets, and that person not gonna see that
Yeah.
wallet? Like, is there any solution for that, or what is your plan? I don't know.
Partially, yeah. There's a few solutions we see in place.
There's something new happening on Solana, and you can hear it. Soul Radio is a 24/7 radio stream and original tracks only. No copies, no noise, just real vibes from the ecosystem. If you're part of the space, you need to hear this. Discover Soul Radio now at soulradio.fun.
So first one is we were thinking about can we kind of create this association between the wallets on chain, like maybe like create these delegate wallets where I confirm on chain that I have it, like that, wallet B has the permission to manage wallet A, or at least receive the notifications or receive the the actual messages, etc. So that was one of the things we thought about. The issue is, while it's a really cool problem to solve technologically, we are so early on that it doesn't really make a lot of difference whether we have it in place or not.
Okay.
When I say early on, like I think the adoption has to be in the millions of wallets before this whole thing can work, right? So between you and me, like you and I can obviously be able to message this way, but then I think realistically, people who need to DM other wallets are the ones who they definitely haven't met this person on anywhere, like in real life or online. They just have the wallet address, and we're not there yet. We're not there like where we have 99% of the wallets on Cherry. And this is where we come to this whole integration with Soulflare, because the bet is, if we have the wallet, like not the not the Solana account, but the wallet app itself support the messaging protocol. Now all of the users can receive DMs. Now all of the users can, be like they're able to message each other or communicate on chain. I wouldn't say like we expect, and again we hear the same sentiment from Soulflare. Like they don't expect people to just immediately start DMing each other, and going crazy about it. I think it's more of a tool that is going to be invisible. Like the DMs are going to be more or less invisible. It's just there so that, like, in case I really need to reach out to that particular, wallet address, I know I can do it. I know, in most cases, it's going to be, available to me through Soulflare. But the bigger value comes from the communities and what we are working on right now with mini apps. It's just like all of these apps are going to be available on iOS and Android. But DMs, it's a bit of a different story because of the adoption. Like, in the value you get from them is comes from scale.
There's also the issue, like, where are the messages stored, because if I send my wallet to your wallet and one day I'm hacked, I don't have access to that wallet, I lose all the messages that I sent to you, right? So it's kind of I lose my tokens and I lose my messages. So it's an added layer of getting rugged or scammed, right? So it's hard. So it's also a solution that, I don't know if you had thought about that anyway. Adding complexity to the conversation.
Yeah, I think I want to be, I could say, we're working on this or we're building this, but I think, just to be honest, like it is something that will definitely add more value when most of Solana lives on Cherry, or like when I say lives, maybe like at least has some connection to Cherry, and you're able to, just get a notification from your Soulflare wallet, for example, and respond to it, right? So I think that's where the most value comes from. Comes in, and then we can add this complexity, like how do we combine different wallets together while preserving privacy? Because I think that's another thing where we saw a lot of interest. Like, how do you preserve these privacy of communication between the users? So right now, for example, we encrypt messages end to end. So whatever is stored on our servers is like not really readable or legible. But obviously, there's more there's more to this, like for like metadata, for example, like wallet A is connected to wallet B. Okay, so now if somebody looks at the data, they know, okay, so these two wallets are connected. But can we preserve this privacy in such a way that like I don't even know that these two wallets are connected, but they can still message each other as conveniently as anything could be.
Yeah, it's the other layer is like the spam, right? Because everyone uses Telegram, Discord, Twitter, and you get spam every single day of scammers and stuff. And then how do you prevent like wallet to wallet spam, right?
We've thought about this. And this is a very interesting area because you cannot prevent spam 100%. If I see you as a good enough target, I'm still going to be spamming you. But you can at least eliminate most of it. So the way we see it is most of the messages can still be delivered, and there's at least some filtering can be done like on your device. But the main way to prevent spam is the DMs are by default a way to communicate with the users who are like I really need to get to you. Like I don't have your Telegram, I don't know your name, but I really need to speak with you about something that is concerning me on chain, about your activity, or maybe like maybe I want to buy an NFT from you. I don't, whatever, right? So I'm willing to pay something for that outreach. Could be $10, could be $50, could be $100, but there is some value in me reaching out to you or like you responding to my message. So that's where we see like most of the spam prevention coming in. But obviously there's like a lot of filtering, etc. that would be on your device as well.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds promising. And that it's actually there was another app that was exchanging time, right? You pay for the time of someone, and people are paying for Tolly's time, half an hour of conversation or something.
Yeah, it's time.fun.
Exactly.
Yeah, we know the guy, we know the founder. It's he actually gave us a little bit like really valuable advice. But unfortunately, the project is no longer. I think it's no longer functioning. Yeah. So I think he shut it down because it did like it was. Look, crypto market is small, Solana market is smaller, and then the specific market for people who are exchanging their time, I think it's even smaller. So I think it wasn't making like it was. I think it was making some money, but it wasn't as successfully viable it wasn't as financially viable as he wanted it to be. So yeah,
I see. I was testing the app as well, and I see the groups, and I could imagine like people migrating from Telegram or Discord to your app and having the projects as a community interacting there, right? Because you have already like if people connect with the wallet as the NFT that's for that community. So that's part of the point is we want people to just be able to join the communities like fast, like basically immediately as soon as you open the app, you're already a part of these communities. For now, we've been just sort of whitelisting the a few of these group chats, a few of these communities, but I think in the future it's going to be a lot more open to other people to sort of whitelist or make it available for new users to join their communities. But yeah, it's a little easier this way. Yeah, and then there's also like as you mentioned about paying to send a message. You could also integrate directly like OTC deals, right? I want to buy your NFT, and I send you an offer straight away.
Yeah.
Right? And then you can accept or reject without the intermedium of a marketplace, right?
This is already available, by the way.
You have it already. Okay. Yeah.
It's a very simple OTC workflow, but it's already available. So I think we don't support all of the NFTs, but we support most of them. So you're able to, if you wanted to, you can swap tokens or you can swap NFTs on Cherry right now. So that was one of the like initial. And actually, coming back to your question about the mistakes, that was one of the mistakes we did because we thought like everybody would be doing OTC, but in reality, it's a good market. But I think there's like a lot more liquidity in OTC, like among the institutions and market makers than there's like among retail. So it shouldn't be a retail or consumer app doing the OTC. It should be like a way more, should have like way more liquidity from, like the bigger players.
And then talking about the bigger players, in this case, you are not actually competing with Telegram or WhatsApp. You are focused on a more niche market, right?
Yeah, the way I like to position this, like, I think sometimes we see this narrative of messengers or like Web3 messengers like killing Telegram or killing Discord. I don't want to position it this way. I think Telegram is definitely the king for IRL connections. And in case I'm meeting someone like an investor, or I'm meeting, a contact in the industry, it's going to be Telegram. I'm not going to switch to Cherry or like force them to go to Cherry. But for anything that happens on chain, like if I'm meeting someone who I've never met before and I didn't have an intention necessarily to meet before, but we are part of the same community, and now we can interact when maybe we're able to find out what's happening with the project, what's maybe like we can interact with the app right on Cherry. So that is a whole other level of experience that is not available on Telegram. Even with Telegram mini apps, it's just not available. It doesn't work with Solana. It doesn't work with wallets. So you have to go through like other, there's a lot of friction, basically. That's what I'm trying to say, to get, to get on those, to get on those communities and to get to those apps. Yeah.
So who's your competition at the moment? So we talked about this when we met in real life, but I don't know if you want to speak about this, because it's and like you said, like if you would go to Ethereum, you would find probably a project much more advanced in terms of funding and probably development.
Yeah.
And at the moment in Solana, you are probably at the same level of your competitors. So it's kind of, you guys start at the same.
In terms of funding, I would say for the most part, yeah. I think the closest, I wouldn't say competitor, but the closest alternative to what we're doing, but on Ethereum, is the base app. I think that's what we want to be on Solana. And when we spoke with when we spoke with Solana Foundation and with Solana Mobile, we kind of pitched this as it's a Solana app, essentially. Just
it's a all-in-one app, right? There's not just it started as message, but the idea is to be.
And the funny thing about this, and because we essentially, if you were like watching base app's history,
I never used, so I have no idea.
I use it, but I'm not that much on, like, I don't do a lot of stuff on Ethereum, but I just use it because, like, for inspiration and etc. But
for inspiration.
But
to steal the code.
Well,
joking.
Yeah, well,
you need to try your competitors, right, to understand where directions they are going and see if it
look, these guys have unlimited budgets, and they've done a lot of user research that we can essentially get inspired with. So it's a great source of inspiration like that. But I wasn't talking about the app itself, but I was talking about the some of the, I think, announcements that Jesse Pollack, I think, he made on Twitter, and I think he said something along the lines that social is, like, I think they made the bet on social for base app, and then they realized how much they were missing out from DeFi and all of that stuff. And we realized this a few weeks ago as well, because social is great. Having these communities is great. The problem is they don't make you any money. But what they do is they create this invisible and really intangible kind of foundation for your user base, for people who, like, essentially adopt your platform as their daily, as their daily driver. So for a lot of people, Cherry is like one of the things that they log in every day, like first thing in the morning, right? So now we're kind of trying to add these apps. So we added a few of our own apps. We added Jupiter. We added today we added Banana Zone as the like a third-party integration of mini apps into Cherry, and this is actually turning really beautiful. Like, you have the community and you have the app, and it's a bit difficult to describe, but like the interaction we have it's completely different from what you get like when you just launch the app and you're just looking at your screen and you're looking at the interface, which is it's still great, but when it's social, when you see other people using it, you see other people maybe winning money, or maybe figuring something out about like some of the secrets about the particular game or application, or maybe they talking about a particular token or something. It's a really fun way to engage with with Web3.
I need to try. Don't you think that actually your biggest competitors are the wallets itself? Because what I see is like you start as a messaging app, but want to build something else, and the wallets like Phantom, Soulflare they start as a wallet, but they keep adding stuff extra, and at some point they are much more than just a wallet. So I'm not sure if that is.
I do think this is. I wouldn't say it's exactly the case, but I think there's a case to be made about this. Soulflare is definitely they're doing a lot of experiments right now, so they're definitely kind of trying to partner with different partners and figure out like what sticks. And we spoke with our product team and say, yeah, we're trying this thing, it doesn't work, we kill it. We're trying this thing, it doesn't, it does work, so we kind of keep it and we kind of try to develop it further in Soulflare. The thing with the wallets is there is a few things they do really, really well, and they probably want to focus on those things. So for them, would we compete necessarily with Soulflare or with Phantom? I wouldn't say so. I think we want to be friends. I say we want to be friends, and we want to make sure that we provide them the value that we have on Cherry. All of these communities, you cannot imagine how difficult it is to build a messenger. Even if you have all the funding in the world, have you seen Phantom chats?
No, yeah.
These guys, I'm not trying to shit on their team, but it is. I just know, as a user, you may think, oh, it's so simple, it's so basic, but reality is building live chat experience is insanely difficult. So, do you really want to invest time in this, or do you want to, partner with someone else?
Focus on your actual product, right?
And for us, building the trust. As the wallet provider, this is also the barrier. Phantom, Soulflare is spending millions every year, creating these marketing campaigns, onboarding the users. We would have to spend, probably tens of millions of dollars every single, month or year, just to compete with them. And then there's also other players. So it's very difficult. And I think there is a lot more synergy to this stuff. There's a lot more way to partner between us and the wallets. We give them something that they don't have, and they give us something we don't have. Right? And I think it works out nicely. So at least at this point, I think that's the strategy that we want to follow. And we when we speak with Soulflare, we explicitly mentioned some of these things. We also spoke with Solana Mobile, and obviously we published on the iOS, and Android, and Solana Mobile. They want to get this. They want to get the whole Seeker ecosystem out there. The issue is the limiting factor is you have this phone, right? So you have this phone, and there's I think 150,000 of these phones, and then there's even fewer active phones or active users. So it's I would say it's a niche product. So they want to get it out. They want these dApps to be available to as many Solana or to as many users as possible. So I think that's where we can also help with distribution through stuff like iOS and Android. I think they are more focused on the Android side of things, and we've been in the Apple ecosystem for a few years now. So it's a challenge to get stuff out there. But when you have a messaging or social platform which runs all of these mini apps, it's a lot easier to sell it to Apple than if you publish each of these apps individually on the App Store. So,
and what is nice is in Solana, everyone kind of partnership with each other, right? There's 3 or 4 projects kind of building together, and then maybe one day we have the top dog app that is gonna take the world and was built on Solana by so many protocols or projects, and that's the idea. Do you plan to have also a desktop, Windows and Mac versions of the?
No,
Not
I mean
really.
we have a web version, like it's at chat.cherry.fun. So if you open it up, it's I think we give way more love to our mobile app, but the web app is still available if you want to play around with it. It definitely helps with some user acquisition by people who don't want to download the app from the App Store or from secret App Store. They can always kind of try the app around, like just use their Soulflow extension or Phantom or whatever to log in.
Yeah, what I done. Yeah.
Yeah. And it also allows us to do some nice previews. So when you send a link to a particular group chat or a particular channel or game, it kind of gives you a nice preview compared to not having these links at all.
So what are the next steps, let's say, or next features or next ideas that are going to come and be implemented soon?
Well, the main one that we are focused on right now, these mini apps, we're really, really bullish on them. We see how much people interact with them. I think the goal isn't necessarily even to make money out of them. It's more like to get people to understand that, hey, this is the place where you use all of your dApps. This is where you can trade. This is where you can play games. This is where you can communicate with the communities that you're part of. And you don't really need to switch to between different apps, have 1,000 different apps on your phone. So that's kind of one of the strategies we want to we have, is to build out this trusted marketplace of different applications, and to kind of curate it to help people to discover the best apps. And apart from this, the other goal is to create this experience with Soulflare, the more exclusive experience for people who use Soulflare. Because as we're doing this integration, there have to be benefits for the Soulflare users, and we're creating these new communities that people will be able to join only on Soulflare. And they will not be available on other in other parts of the app. So we are cooking some of that stuff. That's coming within about a month. So you'll probably hear from us and from Soulflare about this.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Is there anything else that you want to add that I didn't ask or we didn't talk about?
No, I think this has been a great conversation, Vitor. Really glad that you invited me here to talk about Cherry. Yeah, we always welcome. We always want to meet more people. So if you're watching this and you've been able to go through the full hour, listening to my voice, you're always welcome to DM me or DM Cherry.fun on Twitter. We always look for exciting people to meet, for projects to launch on Cherry or just to talk with. There's, I think, as you said, Vitor, there's always so on Solana there's always these projects doing collaborations, partnerships together, and for us personally it's less about this banner or two logos side by side on Twitter. It's more about how can we actually benefit each other in a more in a unique way. So
yeah, there's always a partnership around the corner, right?
Yeah.
So you talk with someone and then someone actually, did you know about this app? And you're like, oh no, well, maybe this. And it's it's nice. I like that. I like it. Does a lot on in real life events, right? It's good because we talk in a group. And you hear the stories and you hear the projects and you're like, oh, this is interesting. And then, the opportunities are there, right? It's good.
Yeah, and there's always even the way we, you and I met, the way this whole podcast happened was just we sat across the table and the conversation, one sentence.
The conversation started way before this recorded session, right?
Yeah,
and very much more I don't know how to describe it, but more intense, let's say, sharing a lot of strong points of views that actually we were on the same page. But it was good. It was amazing. Yeah, it was perfect. No, Alex, it was amazing to have you here. thank you so much, and good luck to Cherry and everything that you are building.
Awesome. All right. Thank you, Vitor. Thanks for having me here.
Chop, chop, the wood we carry. Chop, chop, never meant to bury. Fire runs through the grain. Nothing lost, nothing to claim. Chop, chop, keep it moving. Chop, chop, always flowing around the night. Voices arise in the dark. Truth survives.